The biggest thing is realizing and seeing, you know, like how much such a little person can change the world, your world, I should say, just from everything, the steps you take as far as like the way you speak, act, move, your thoughts of what you're doing at the moment, what you're doing in the future, and just the amount of love that it makes you feel and brings into the, even more so between the relationship between me and my wife.
I think my anxiety was kind of through the roof because I was just petrified that something was going to happen, that she was going to come before he came back.
I woke up early to have practice to come to New York. I didn't want to come, honestly. Once I got to the gym, like I had the plan of coming to playing the game and coming back. Once I got to the gym and thought about actually leaving and the fact that anything could happen, I was like second guessing it all through practice. But Lauren was like, my mom's gonna be here and you'll be fine. Like, so I come and I get here and I regret it as soon as I get there. I'm in my room, like basically pacing in the room. I didn't really sleep that much. And then we go, you know, get up the next morning. It's like, well, I'm here, like start trying to focus on the game, which is pretty hard. Rough one.
See if Kyle can get it back on track. Denied by Cantor, scooped up. 5-on-4. Hardaway Jr., air ball, Cantor to the cutting Hardaway. Wow, 28-0 run. CJ got it, finally. Raptors are gonna lose by 8. They led by 11, they trailed by 20. They made it a game, but the game came down to the third quarter.
Basically run in and jump in the shower. Like I was in the shower. I still had my mouthpiece in. Like I was like taking everything off, ran in the shower, and ran out. Of course, the driver was late, so now I'm panicking in my mind. He was supposed to be there before the game was over.
CJ was upset about it, and I'm just like, it's okay, like calm down, like you'll get here, you know, trying to keep him calm. But until he got here, I think both of our anxiety was kind of through the roof because we didn't know what was gonna happen.
The faster you get me, the faster you can get me there, I'll give you all the money in my pocket. There we go, bro, thanks. Have a safe flight.
Good luck. Tell Lauren to say good luck.
You're gonna be a dad, man.
All right, so I'm gonna say go home, go sleep.
I'll call you later. Sitting on a plane, on a private plane, trying to get back to make sure I'm there for my daughter's arrival, you know? Like, which in the grand scheme of things is all that matters. Like, just making sure I'm there for her to be there when she comes out. And that's all I really care about.
As a coach, you always preach family. You preach coming together as a family. Well, if you're going to preach family, you got to be family. And that means, you know, your family is important to me. You know, their family is important to me. As a group, we have to welcome everybody's family. We have to understand what everybody's going through. We have to build this family. So it's not just the family of the players on the court. It's the families of the coaches, the families of all the players, and knowing that you got each other.
You know, I would say that it's probably the most important thing for the Raptors. I think we realize the role that they play in all of our lives in this profession and the demands that we have, and so we need the support, and you know, we obviously wouldn't be who we are without our families.
It was more like a stalking. More like a stalking, not a chase.
She just didn't want to deal with the lifestyle that you assume comes with it. I mean, it does come with it. If you indulge in it, it's there. Like, and the way it's looked at it from the outside, because stuff that gets written about in the paper is guys getting in trouble and obviously traveling and money, and it's there. Like, and I understood it, but I wasn't afraid to work for it. I wanted, and it made me, pursue her even more because of that. Because I never, like they always talk about the chase. I had never had that where it wasn't so much the chase, but it was the fact that she wanted she wanted something real. She wanted the person to be real. She wanted me to be real with her. And that's what I wanted at the time. Like, I didn't want the lifestyle. I wanted her. I wanted a real thing. I wanted a real relationship, a real girlfriend, to be able to really get married and have a real wife, a real family. I wasn't into that. So I saw it and I chased it.
The best way to put it is like he grew on me. He really did. Like I said, he's always been a great guy. Towards the beginning, when we first met, I was like, NBA guy, I'm not dumb, So for a while, like you said, it was a chase, and I was like, I'm not gonna entertain it. And then I was like, you know what? What's the worst that could happen? And now I'm stuck.
To have a partner in this, like my wife, and knowing who she is, what she stands for, where she comes from, it makes it that much easier because you have somebody with a like mind. And it's not not to speak on anybody else's situation, but there's a lot of situations where it doesn't come that way. Like our generation are of people, like we're the generation of like allure and lust. Like it looks good. And we chase things, and we end up in these situations with people where, like, you meet them, you don't really get to know them. It's just it's convenience. The world has made everything so convenient, and I think that's why people think that way about love now. Like, think you can be with somebody when you want to be, or it's good when it's good. Like, no, like, you gotta love somebody when it's hard. That's when it's truest. Like, when it's not always gonna be easy. It's not always gonna be everybody's in a great mood every single day. Like certain situations where, you got to figure out how to make things work. Like, you're going to grow into different people. You're going to change, and you got to learn how to be able to love during that change and be able to take steps forward together. Like, it's a fight, and it's not always about who you have the most fun with at that moment doing it. It's about who do you want to fight with? Who do you want to go through the ups and downs with? Because it's easy to go through the good times with anybody. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's good. Everybody's happy. But like, who, when it gets the toughest, would you turn around and look at it and be like, I'm not going anywhere, and know that they feel the same way? And that's what makes it special. Like, that's what makes it real. And that's the way I feel about her. I'm grateful for the situation I'm able to bring her in. Like, she was made out of love. She was made in a happy home, in a happy relationship. And, me being at a point in my life where I'm as ready as I can be for it. I'm not gonna say I'm ready for it because I have no idea what I'm doing or what I'm gonna be doing. Like, I don't think anybody does the first time. So it's just kind of like, just love her as much as I can, and show her as much as I can and what I've been taught and what I do know, and try to steer it the right way.
I mean, it was incredible, because you're bringing this life into the world. Like, this is what you created, and she's finally here. You wait 9 months to see your child, and she's finally here. It was an incredible moment, and I'm just glad that, again, that CJ was able to be here for that, because that was huge for us. We wanted him to be here for that.
We like many things, basketball, everything. Like, you can find a lot of things in your life, but I think first child, second child, whatever, the numbers doesn't matter, but like childbirth is most important thing in your life.
Oh, it's very exciting. I could imagine it, like, for friends and family, like my brothers, like the same sensation, like to be a father, but like you never know like the real sensation until you have your baby. It was a great experience to me, and it's still like my daughter just turned 1 like last week, and to me it's still like hard to understand that I'm a daddy.
He's so like scared to like move her. He's so French. Like it's okay, like you can hold her, like he's like cool. Like she's gonna break.
I was lucky enough 4 months ago to have my first son, so you kind of, you reflect back now on what you felt, and you want to share it in some way with any new father, and CJ being part of the Raptor family. You kind of want to show the joy that he feels.
We got a little tar action. Good girl. Ooh.
This is one of the few miracles in life you actually get to witness and get to see and be such a big part of. So I'm thrilled for him. And the cool thing that I found as an athlete, you deal with all kinds of pressure situations, right? So you have a big game and it can go great, it can go bad, all kinds of things can happen. When you go home, that little one right there could care less whether you played good or bad. That they're just happy to see you. And I think that in a lot of ways, it takes a lot of pressure off. It gives you that release. It gives you something else to think about. So you go do your job and you come home and you just get away from it all. So I'm thrilled for him. And just seeing his personality, he's going to be a great dad.
He's gonna be an amazing dad. The first thing he does when he comes home is like, give me my baby. I'm like, okay, here you go. He just, every second of the day, anytime he can be with her, he wants to hold her, he wants to feed her. He's gonna be an excellent dad, no question.
I'm still trying to figure out if she's gonna be a soft one or not, which one of us is gonna be, but I think that she's gonna be strong, the biggest thing for me. And that's one of the attributes that drew us to each other, or drew me to her. You always look at somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life and build with. You look at all the attributes you think that can, you look beyond you and her as young people getting to, do whatever you want. You look for where y'all be able to grow together. Where is she headed? Where's her mind at? Where's her heart at? And I've seen that since the beginning. And now getting to this point and seeing her with Ava and seeing the route that we're headed with her, I know that if we can get Ava anywhere close to her, then we did our job.
I want to teach her to be a strong woman. I think that's one of the things my parents instilled in me, to be able to not only support myself, but be able to stand up for myself and be firm in what I believe in, and more importantly, my faith in God. I think that's one thing that we want to really instill in her, to be a strong woman of faith.
Not to piggyback on what Lauren said, but strong is the biggest word that comes to mind. But I also want her to have a comprehensive level of understanding of how to treat people and how she should be treated. And I feel like our actions, the way I treat Lauren, the way she treats me, and understanding how a functional, loving relationship works, to be a template for her, for that to understand as she grows. Not saying that she should look for somebody like me, but to understand how a relationship works, because I feel like now a lot of that's not in our world. And a lot of the youth, and boys and girls, they don't really have an understanding of how it's supposed to be. And it's being swayed by concepts of whatever it is, from TV to music to movies or magazines or whatever. And everybody's love is different, but at the same time, it all comes down to respect and honesty and the simple things that make those things work. And for her to be able to see that helps even more so, for her to have an understanding of what she should look for in a partner, what she should look for in life, what she should look for as far as how she should be treated. Because I would hate to have to hang somebody up from the side of a building. Dear Ava, the first thing I want to say is I love you, more than you could ever imagine. Second is that I promise to do everything in my power to provide and protect you and your mother. I promise to walk in a manner that will never confuse you, never make you wonder what's right or what's wrong. To be honest, to be patient, to work my best to be understanding as we both grow into different people. To treat your mother with the love and respect that makes it easy for you to know how you should be treated when it's time for you to go out and choose a mate. To place our values as a family in all the right places. To help you understand your worth, your heart's worth, your soul's worth, and most importantly, how your faith in God should influence your speech and walk, and how much your speech and walk can influence the world that we live in. Love, Dad.